Myles, from your standpoint as the passing game coordinator, what did you see from the two quarterbacks this camp?
I think they're both really talented. I think they both did a great job. Obviously, Steve got the nod, and I think he is well deserving of that. But Ricky played his tail off, and I think he's got a really bright future for him ahead of him. The best thing about Ricky is he's a really resilient kid, and he's going to continue to work to get better every single day. And then obviously they have each other to kind of help each other out and to grow collectively. You know?
Myles, Fran mentioned sort of the difference he thought was just Steve operated the offense maybe a little bit better. As a football coach, what does that mean? Is that getting guys in the right spot? Is it making all the throws he needs to? What is that?
Well, I think it comes with natural game experience, and Steve has had that certainly at Notre Dame in different variations. And so you can see there's a little bit of a calming confidence that he has and carries, and I think that's a strength of his. And it shed through camp, right? And you know, in that terms, yes, he gets the nod for it. They're both very talented and have their own strengths, but you know, I think that was ultimately, like, as a younger team who needs a veteran-led quarterback or a leader, he kind of shows face in that.
What does it say about the state of Syracuse Orange football that there is a quarterback competition so late into this, right before the season starts, and having guys that are so closely connected to each other, and that it came down to this?
I think it shows that we've gotten better, right? The beautiful thing is both those guys were transfers, and they came to Syracuse to try to win the job, and they're both very talented in their own right. They fought really hard, and it just shows where Syracuse is at. Like, we're making a lot of tough decisions across the board, not just quarterback, but different positions, and it just shows that that's the talent level that we have now.
Myles, what kind of options do you get from John Cook in your offense? Seems like he brings pretty much everything.
Yeah, he's got a lot of juice. He's a really good, talented player. The thing that I have enjoyed about him the most is he's a great person. You know, and the things that you kind of heard about through Texas, it's an amazing thing. He's kind of the complete opposite. He's a great leader. He works hard, and he wants to be great. You know, and it sheds through our room, especially the young guys get to see a guy who's got a lot of notoriety, work as hard as he does, and make the plays that he does. So I'm excited about what he can do and how he can help our offense.
Along the same lines, what have you seen from Darryl across the past, 12 months? Obviously, he had sort of the breakout second half, but what have you seen from him kind of in his progression?
Growth. I mean, his story is unique. You know, he came in and he wasn't necessarily the starter early on, as you said, last year, and he kind of shed his light later on in the season. And so he's just been kind of that older guy in the room and just consistently making plays. So I'm excited about what he can do and how he's going to be able to help us. But we got some good problems, you know.
Fran said he's kind of ready to explode and kind of have an even better year. What do you think he needs to do to have an even better year than he did last year?
I think the main thing that all our guys need to do is just really hone in on the preparation and routine, right? And a lot of guys think that, like, you're going to conquer the world in one day. That's not our model. Our model here at Syracuse is you're going to work really, really hard, and through your work, the results will come. You know, we try to be process-oriented as much as we possibly can, and he's no different, right? So we don't want to put these crazy expectations for him, but we also want to say if you want those things, you have to have crazy work ethic.
What are some of the leadership traits that you've seen from Steve when it comes not only to the offense but also to the wide receivers that have helped him to earn the starting job?
Mainly composure, right? I think there's always you take a guy like Eli Manning, who I had the honor to play with. Very calm, very cool, and collected, right? He's always right here, and I think Steve has that same thing. Now, he'll get on guys and push them to be the best they can be, but he also has a unique ability to keep everybody at an even keel pace, too. You know, and that's the biggest thing for me that I've saw.
What are the things you're working on with Demetrius when he comes over in your room and gets to play wide receiver a little bit?
Man, that kid's so talented. There's not a lot to work on. He is really, really talented. For him, he's got to hone in on the technique, which is hard because there's a technique for DB that he's going to excel at, and there's a technique for him at wideout that he's got to excel at. But he's definitely he's a unique player because he is so talented at such a young age. I mean, the kid should be in high school right now, you know, and so for him to be as well off as he is right now, I think the sky's the limit for him. I really do.
Coach, for you, now that you know the starting quarterback, I mean, I'm sure that you guys have kind of had an idea over the past couple of days. What changes for you in your job, getting prepared for that game against Tennessee?
I mean, the main thing that would change for us as a receiver room is just getting the continuity with one guy. and he'll obviously take majority of the snaps. Then now the chemistry can come along, and these guys can kind of get on the same page to a point where, you know, you want them to be, well, hey, we can give each other a look, and we know exactly what we need to do. And so I think that's the next portion of this, you know, off-season or fall camp for us before we see Tennessee.
Are they like behind on that more than maybe you would like, or just because they had to try to develop a rapport with two guys?
No, I wouldn't say that. They got a summer's worth. A lot of our guys are new, you know. So you got Steve, you got Jonte, you got Gil, who's been here, and Justice Ross, and a couple other guys who've been here, but they're all relatively new. Through the summer and through training camp, I think the reps that we get on a day-to-day basis, I think, keeps us in a really good spot. I think we practice harder than a lot of teams in the country, and so with that being said, I think we're in a great spot. It's not a cause for concern.
How helpful has it been for you to have a guy as decorated and accomplished as Josh Gaddis to be able to help you out in that receivers room?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Josh is obviously, his name speaks for himself. He's got a really, really good reputation as a football coach, and he's a very good person, you know. And so just being able, as a younger coach, or viewed as a young, I don't think I'm too young, but he's got more experience, and so it's always great to bounce things off of him, you know, and just learn a ton from him. Same with Jeff Nixon. Michael Johnson's in the same boat, right? And I'm in a really unique, great opportunity or great situation to learn from those guys.
How did the chemistry look in the scrimmages between some of the receivers and Angeli?
Good, really good. You know, the last scrimmage in particular, you know, guys made a ton of plays. He did as well. He excelled, and I think there's a comfortability and a continuity between those guys. I think it's just going to really hit it off as the season grows.
Were there anybody who kind of stood out from the receiver room?
Scrimmage-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they all made their fair share of plays. It's the same names, you know, the usual suspects in terms of Justice Ross. He had a great scrimmage. Jonte did as well. You know, a couple of young guys did. Hornsby's always a guy that's going to continue to flash and grow, and he's just got to kind of wait his turn, but he's playing well when he's in there.
When you look at the overall skill set in the passing game that you have this season with Syracuse, what can you say about the versatility and kind of the layers that Angeli's going to have to work with?
Can you repeat that?
Just the layers that we have offensively, the different skill sets that you have with the guys in the passing game.
You know, the great thing about playing quarterback is you got to learn who is who, right? KYP is what you hear people say is know your personnel, and there might be a fast guy on the field like a Darryl Gill who wants a ball a certain way, and there might be a guy who's a little bit bigger and strong arm guy where you can line it, you know, and that's Justice Ross. So as a quarterback, it's their job through practice and reps to kind of learn who's who and how do I want to get and deliver this ball to whatever player it is, you know.
You had mentioned Jonte before. How have you seen him come along as a leader for this team?
I mean, he's been really, in my opinion, as important as anybody in our program just because of the way he's willing to work and the time he's willing to put in. You know, now where we are at with him, we try to get him to the race. Like, we're trying to get him to play and, you know, just continue trying to work at certain specific details in our offense with him. But in terms of just being all in on ball, all in on assimilating to our culture, I think he's done a great job of that.
What was Steve and Ricky's kind of relationship like, I guess, throughout the camp? Obviously, they're competing against each other, but what can you say about, I guess, their relationship?
I thought it was as good as ever. You can definitely see why those things could go bad, and it wasn't. I think they were really helpful for each other. They offered a lot of advice to each other. Hey, what'd you see here? What'd you see there? But it was cool. It was really cool to watch two young guys competing for the same spot, fighting really hard for it, but also working together to try to better the team.
Did the fact Steve had a little bit more, I guess, in-game experience with Notre Dame factor into the decision, and if so, like, how much did that kind of factor in?
I mean, ultimately he was a backup there at Notre Dame, so I think there's a relative, I mean, that word is subjective in terms of just overall experience, but the best thing I can say is he's just got that calming effect and that calming composure that allowed him and continues to allow him to lead our team at a really high clip.
But for you, what is the most exciting thing about Ricky's future, just, you know, physically as a quarterback?
Ricky?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's got a cannon. He can throw it anywhere. I'm excited to watch his growth because I think when he gets comfortable with everything in the offense, I think he's just going to skyrocket, right? And sometimes you do have to wait, right? There seems to be this, I don't know, unwritten philosophy that you have to come in and play early as a freshman quarterback, and that's not the case, right? The NFL model is probably the best, where you see guys who sit for a year or 2 or 3, and then they come in for their moment and they're ready, versus guys that have to start and go through those growing pains. It can collapse a kid's confidence, and I think, like I said, the sky is the limit for Ricky, and he's going to be a really great player here.
How mature has he been through this process of, gets here, he's the starter, then, Fran goes on the radio and says Trevor had a little bit of concern with him, and then now he's backing up. How mature has he been handling all of this since he's gotten here?
He's been great. Like I said, he's a really resilient kid. It has not affected him at all, in my opinion. He's the same guy every day. He's a natural leader. He's just a young guy. He just needs a little bit more experience, a little bit more practice reps to continue to climb.
Fran takes a lot of pride in putting guys under pressure in practice and stressing them out in weird ways. I know you've seen a lot of football, been around a lot of coaches, but is there anything he's done that's been unique to you, or you're like, oh man, that's something I'd never seen or thought of?
I mean, if you watch our practice, you know how he is. No, it's
That's
yeah.
that's rare. That whole.
No, I think it's really rare. The beautiful thing about Coach Fran is he is able and has the ability to get the most out of you, and really connect with guys at the same time, so that it's not coming from a harmful place. He'll tell you the truth. He's going to cut it straight, but he's also trying to get the best out of you. Goes for players, coaches, everything. He's going to challenge you, and that's what makes us tough collectively as a team, not just really just an organization. Right? We're going to continue to get tougher because of how he wants to lead the program and the chaos that you see at the practice from a day-to-day basis.
You guys are less than 2 weeks away from the season opener. How are you, as a coach, first year here, trying to get, your guys ready for that moment when, they step on the field in Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah, main thing is just, like we talked about, is just diving in on the routine. Like, it's not just going to magically happen 2 weeks from now when we're in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and you're just going to turn the light on and you guys are going to play, right? So we want to develop that tenacity, that mentality right now. And then but definitely carry it into Saturday, right? And so that's the main thing, is just getting them to dive in on that routine.
Are there any examples of ways that you are kind of instilling that into camp?
I'd say our practice. We just got to run around. Every play has to be at the highest level. It can't be I run really hard here because I'm getting the ball and then I take the next play off. No, we got to play 60 snaps straight, right, at a high level, and we got to be tougher than the other team, right? And so that's what we're going to pride ourselves on.
What could Ricky have done better to keep his starting job?
I wouldn't say it. That's a tough question because I coach the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can tell you is that he played really well. I don't think it came down to him having to do anything better. I think it was a tough decision throughout. That's why it took so long. And those guys competed their tail off. So I really can't answer your question in terms of one single thing. I don't really know that.
And when exactly was the decision made?
Well, I'm like you guys. I found out today, so we're siloed in that fact. I worry about the receivers, and I let Coach Fran and Coach Nixon and the quarterback coaches handle that decision.
JRS said that he thinks he can get 1,000 yards this year. How does he get there?
Got to keep working, keep getting better. He's definitely taken huge steps through the spring and through the summer into now. I definitely believe that is possible if he just continues to work and really hone in on being a leader. And doing things the right way every single day. I think that is definitely possible for him.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Yep.